Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Thought Buzz, the podcast where we explore leadership, team dynamics, and what it truly takes to build stronger, people first workplace. And today, I'm Aarushi and joined by Kiran, who's a project manager at Mahajan Aibara and is known for leading diverse teams and driving projects to success with clarity and purpose. Kiran, welcome. So, Kiran, let's start by hearing your story first. What inspired your journey into project management and what keeps you motivated in leading teams today?
What keeps me going today is the transformation that I get to lead, and it's not just process system, but it's the people and seeing team overcome pressure, and we innovate and we celebrate it together. So that never gets old.
Personally, believe that's the perfect way of keeping you driven throughout. Okay, so Kiran, moving forward, I would really like to understand one thing from you. How do you create this culture of trust and collaboration within your project management team?
Yeah, the answer is not very tricky actually, Arushi. So usually what I do is I implement a structured daily stand-ups. You have to have an open feedback session and a clear escalation path. I also encourage my members, team members, to take turns leading discussion, giving them ownership and voice. That's it.
I mean, that's so perfect. And I would also like to understand here, what are your go-to strategies to keep your team motivated throughout?
Yeah, it might seem complicated, but again, this is very simple. So, what you basically do is I break my projects into small milestones with clear accountability and celebrated mini wins. And my daily stand up energizing by focusing on solving, and rather than reporting. So, it makes much more simpler steps for everybody to understand.
That's amazing way. I mean, this is one of the perfect go-to strategy to definitely keep your team motivated throughout. Moving forward, I would also like to understand one more thing. So, how do you manage team conflicts and ensure that disagreements turn into opportunities in order to have that stronger collaboration as well? So, if you could just give me maybe a few ways, how do you do it, Karen? That would be really great for our audience as well.
This is very common problem across the industry, especially this conflict and disagreements between the teams. So here, what I do is I facilitate a structured discussion where both parties share their views. That is very important, Arushi. Then we use our data to validate and co-create a hybrid solution that is best of both the ideas from both parties.
Okay, so can you just share one of those examples for our audience as well?
Yes. So let's take an example. So in my recent company, so this might be a little bit long answer. So during an exit process automation, this project I was working on, we had a risk of misalignment between our HR department, the tech department, and other departments. So I had to ensure both sides communicated clearly despite using different terminologies. I created a visual workflow, clarified the terms, and held joint weekly updates. Everyone had access to same dashboard, same documentation. What was the result? Exit time dropped by 70%. And for the first time, employees, HR and IT and reporting managers reported a 95% satisfaction rate across team collaboration. So communication isn't about speaking, it's about making sure everybody understands and feels included.
I mean, what a perfect example, Kiran. That's really remarkable for our audience to even listen all this. I mean, this is perfect example here. And moving forward, I would also like to understand how do you make sure that every team member in your team feels accountable?
This is very important, actually very critical when it comes to project management. So what I do is I introduce ownership board, let's say a digital task sheet where each team member's task, deadlines, and their KPIs, key performance index, are publicly visible. I paired this particular dashboard with private one-to-one coach and celebrate our progress. So even doing this is much more efficient and productive and gives a great result.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Kiran, we have all like everyone here might have faced some of the challenging situations in their workplace. So, I would really like to understand how do you keep your team focused during that time, and how do you keep the momentum keep going here? If you could just brief down with some examples, or maybe if you could just give one story out of this, that would be really great for our audience as well.
So there is a situation.
Mm-hmm.
I will tell you my situation. What happened? So
Yeah.
midway through an automation project, a vendor pulled out unexpectedly, delaying the entire roadmap.
Okay.
Now I needed to keep my team motivated and focused despite this particular disruption. So what I did is I quickly reframed the setback as a learning moment, and we adjusted this timeline transparently, reassigned roles based on strength, focused on what could still move forward. That is very important. What was the result again? We not only delivered the project, but uncovered internal capabilities that reduced long-term vendor dependencies, basically.
Hmm. So,
So in tough times, basically, honesty plus a clear path forward keeps team resilient.
So, also talking about moving forward, I would also like to focus on this word target here. So, how do you balance project targets? So, if you could just brief us down, how does it work and how do you balance it, being in a very people-centric role as well?
So here now there is one a small trick you can use. I call it a pulse check. Pulse check, it's basically short weekly survey followed by an action. When people are felt heard and changes are made quickly, uh, this engagement rises. So your SLA performance also increases. So this pulse checking is something I use it constantly.
I mean, this is really, really great, Kiran. And lastly, I would like to ask if you could just give one piece of advice to someone who's stepping into the same role as yours, what would that be?
So I would give a one-liner answer to this actually. So leadership is more about enabling than directing.
Hmm.
So this is a one-liner answer. I think if these managers who are into going into leadership program, I think this sentence can change their life.
I mean, Kiran, this was really, really a very good example that you have given us, and definitely the piece of advice is something that definitely someone can take it and move forward in their career as well. And Kiran, it was really a very wonderful conversation to have it with you. Your insights, definitely on leadership, people centric, is truly inspiring. Before we close, what's that one golden rule you believe that every project manager or team leader should always remember while working with people? So what would be that one rule for you?
There are few, but I would still, if I have to pick, I would pick the listening rule. Listen more than you speak.
I'm
Your team is, yeah, your team will often have inside solutions. You just need to create the space for them to be heard.
I mean, this is the perfect rule, Kiran. Thank you so much, Kiran, for your time and sharing your experience with us. I am Aarushi signing off with this thought: great projects are built by great teams, and great teams are built by leaders who care, like Kiran. Until next time, keep leading with purpose. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Arushi. Thank you, everyone.